Happy Sunday. I wanted to start today with talking a little bit about the timelines. Some of you know nothing about timelines. Some of you know about timelines. So I just wanted to give a little information. Right now, first of all, just Timelines 101. Timelines means if I'm going along on this path, there are certain obstacles, life lessons, people I will meet, connections, all of this. And if I decide to make a major change in my life, like if in a moment I'm like, I don't want to be at this job anymore, then another timeline comes and I may timeline jump. And once I get on that timeline, there's a whole different set of possibilities, circumstances, people, all of that. And so what I see is that many of us are changing timelines very quickly. We're learning how to jump. You know, I keep thinking of that movie Divergence when they're running and then they jump on a train and then they jump off. To me, that's very symbolic of the timelines. And know that a lot of times, you know, if somebody tells you, oh, I definitely see you being with John Smith, and all of a sudden it looks like it's going that way, and then all of a sudden you meet somebody else and you have free will to decide what you want to do. If you make a change and you decide you want to go over here, then the whole, what do I want to say? All the scenarios that were on that timeline have now changed. So just know that. So right now in the quantum field, all possibilities exist. So there can be, I don't know, I'm just going to use this number. There could be, 50 different realities that could happen. And what creates that is what we align to. Okay, so it's also not just us individually, it's us collectively looking at what's the bigger picture of the timelines. Just being in a place of, if everybody decides they want this person for president, then the majority timeline plays out. If everybody decides they want this in the world, then that's what plays out. If at a later date, everything changes and people say, oh, I don't particularly want this in the world anymore, then you start to see things change and develop and all of that. So if you're wondering why things have just been so crazy and, just moving all over the place, that's why. So that's just a brief little piece. And I've been working a lot with the galactic energy lately. And one of the things that they shared with me is that you can actually go back, because it's kind of hard to explain, but if we can imagine that we get out of the whole thing about time and we look at it as if everything's happening simultaneously. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around. If the Christ light, a little slip of the tongue, Christ lifetime is happening over here at the same time we're here, and this is happening at the same time that's happening. It's what you align to. And so it's kind of hard to wrap your head around, but if we go, there really is no past, but if we do go into what we would call a past life, we can go back and change things that then changes everything on that future timeline and present timeline and everything. And those of you that are in my class, we actually did it the other night. It was pretty profound, moving energy. So you would look at something that was an issue for you in the past or whatever, and then we would move from that place on clearing it all the way up from the original sensitizing event all the way up to present and beyond. So because everything we do has kind of like that ripple effect. So I just thought it was so interesting. I wanted to share that with you. All right. Happy Sunday. Happy new week. We are going to start with the Archangel Metatron deck. What do people need to know for this week? Ooh, it is blue, Madonna and Mothering. I love this card. And remember, we're talking generically here. You don't have to be Catholic to connect with Mother Mary. We're connecting with an archetype. We're connecting with a loving, excuse me, a loving mother's energy. So as I look at this card, blue to me is always the throat. It's speaking your truth. It's being held and nurtured in the hands of love. So let's see what the message is. The number 2 and 9 make 11, a master number, linking to the divine feminine that is here with you now. The blue Madonna stands in her own blue ray, silent, strong, emitting the energy of calm and stillness. It does not matter what is going on around you or what needs to be done or acted upon. All that she is concerned about is to offer us a resting place. She sits within our hearts, offering guidance, support, love, and to be held in her embrace. Here there is no place for worry or stress, just peace and being at one with the wider universe. The star above her head reminds you of the star above your own, the divine light above you that is always lighting your way and is there for the duration of your stay on planet Earth. She is a wise teacher, knowing that all answers lie within, and she reminds you of that simple fact without judgment or exasperation, for all of you have sought outside yourselves. There is so much wisdom and insight in her heart that she sends surplus, sparkling white light upward in cupped hands to whoever needs it. Nothing can rock her or alter her own sense of herself and the world around her. Her world is a place of beauty. She has mastered her emotions and helps you to do so as well. She reminds you that everything passes, nothing is forever. Now is the moment that needs to be held, and she is there holding presence every time you call on her. Her serenity and grace inspire you to live a life based on those qualities. She came from the stars, yet also lived here on earth, following her calling without argument, in tune with the divine flow and higher plan. She has come because we are ready to hold her in our hearts, having realized that the new values that this life has to be lived by are trust and faith. Her communication is expressed not just through words, but by her sheer presence. She draws your attention to how you show yourself to the world in all you say and do. Is that from a place of the peaceful blue ray or from another tone? Allow the blue energy she carries to envelop you, reaching out into your aura as well as your physical body. It is here to strengthen, protect, nurture, and love you. Like the Divine Mother, she holds the ultimate archetype for bringing up the next generations of souls and is there for you, whatever age you are, as a gentle maternal support whenever you need her. Feel her around you now and be at peace. What a beautiful card. And I love the cupped hands. It's like taking that white light and just putting it over us. So knowing that when you need to be nurtured, perhaps your mother isn't here anymore, or she wasn't the mother that was of a nurturing kind, but you can call in the Divine Mother for that. Next, we're going to the Light Worker Oracle by Alana Fairchild, which my hands hardly fit around. What does everybody need to know for this up-and-coming week? First ray of power. Beautiful. it looks like this is a no messing around ray. We have a very big higher self standing over this woman going, you know, she's holding a ball of light. She's like, I'm doing it. I'm doing my job. And it just looks like, uh-oh, a no fooling around ray. The first ray of power is energy of conscious destruction. It can be used in a healthy way to eliminate the past and allow for a fresh start. The first ray carries the frequency of leadership. It can assist you to stand in the truth of your own light so others can find their way by it. It helps to strengthen your willpower as you can accomplish any task you desire. The Ascended Master El Morya brings you his particular blessing and encourages you to believe in your own strength and take the initiative on what matters most to you. And they have an invocation here. I now accept of my own free will the blessings and grace of the first ray of power in my life. Through unconditional love and divine mercy, I surrender my life into the loving hands of the universe to align me with higher will and the most beautiful expression of my life's journey. I call upon the loving assistance of the genuine Ascended Master El Morya in all aspects of this process, and ask that the first ray of power be expressed in ways that serve the greatest good on this planet, that all beings may walk their true divine path through divine grace. So be it, and so it is. Wow. First ray of power. So my feeling is we're still on a collective theme here, even though it works both ways. The first ray of power, that is about destroying what no longer works and bringing on what is needed and what works down here. So there you go. Amazing. All right. Quieting the mind. A person sitting in Om position on a lotus. Really beautiful. And to me, what comes is the stillness. When I look at the card, this person looks very still, very solid, very in it. So this week, even though we're going to be looking at what no longer works in the world, what no longer works in our life, we've got a lot going on here, and we do need to go into the stillness in order to do that. Well, here we are. Key concepts. Meditation as a commitment. The need for silence, peace within, despite chaos, outer conditions. Letting go of the monkey mind mindfulness. Life is chaotic, busy, loud, frenetic, and overwhelming. Some days, all that noise is like the roar of thunder echoing around you, and it feels as if you've been pummeled by a rainstorm. Isn't this why we take vacations, to go away to somewhere, to get away to somewhere peaceful? In spite of the surrounding din of the world, today you need to slow down and find a bit of peace. Go ahead, take a deep breath right now. It'd be nice for all of us to do that together. Then make a commitment to be still, even if only for 5 minutes a day. Count your breaths, be mindful of them. Know that you have all the time in the world to do the things that need doing. Everything is perfect as it is. Our core beliefs around the world originate in thoughts and feelings, which then become perceptions. If our thoughts are all over the place, that is how we will experience the outer world. But what if the outer world didn't matter at all? What if at our center there was a place that is always calm, where the mind doesn't have a million things to say, where problems and challenges aren't nearly as important as we think they are. Today requires you to take an internal break and go to that silent place. Regroup. Meditate on the stillness within. Choose a peaceful mind and nothing else. You will be amazed at how everything falls into place easily once you do. Wow. All right. Which ones? Which ones? Let's go to the animal ones again. Second week of February. Polar bear. Wow. So this has an Eskimo ready to do battle, it looks like to me, and a giant polar bear. Look at that. He's turned his back on the polar bear, though, so I'm wondering about that. Oh, ancestors. You are the carrier of a bloodline that stretches back for millennia. Yet you are uniquely your own self. Take the positive from your ancestry and observe and note the negative. Family dysfunction stops here. Honor those in your family who honor you. It is a positive and natural action to individuate from our family on our own terms. Polar bear magic. It's ancient, powerful, and profound. Should you wish to heal trauma of any kind, call upon the bear's energy to assist you. Working to address ancestral pain or shame passed down from our generations in the next can benefit from polar bear energy. That is pretty amazing. I like that. Polar bear magic. Never knew that before. So it would suggest that we're still healing some things from our past, from past life, linear things, also with our ancestors. Okay. And last one. Awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. Look at her just floating and receiving, whatever that is. And as I look at her, she really looks like she is just peaceful. Like what it's calling to me is going to bed at night and we don't know where we're traveling to or what's going on in the inner planes. She's just laying and receiving it all. And our bodies at night have to go back. Our spirit needs to get out of this body and rest and relax at night. It's like, okay, recharge. All right. Awakening. You are going through a period of awakening. Things are changing within you and at many levels. You are starting to remember ancient truths, discovering more and more about who you are and why you've incarnated. You may find that you are experiencing past life flashbacks, never mind, flashbacks, seeing the invisible thread that is woven through all of life, or even feeling Kundalini Shakti rise through your body from the base of your spine. The most important thing for you at this time is not to overthink it and stay grounded. Share your experiences with like-minded people while you consciously integrate them. Journal and pay attention to your dreams. You are remembering and your soul gifts are emerging. During this time of transition and awakening, you may be called to devote time to being of service. There are ideals, truths, concepts, books, and creations waiting to be birthed into this world. Stay open to receiving them. Pulling this card may be a sign that you are here to birth one of these creations into the world. Or perhaps you are being called to make a shift in your life in order to be of service. Don't think too much about it. Instead, repeat the following. Work your light activation. I surrender to my awakening. I allow the Shakti energy to rise from the base of my spine. I open myself up to the universe, using me in a way that delights my mind, body, and soul. So we start the week having to be nurtured by that blue energy. The blue is also the throat and our divine purpose. So getting nurtured by the divine feminine, taking the role of Mother Mary, and then looking at what we want to change in the world and in our lives, quieting ourselves down, calling on the ancestors as we continue to finish our healing work, and then being downloaded with the new. And what calls to me is we all know that every single person that's here at this time is supposed to be here. This is what we came here for. We are working to birth the divine feminine, to birth the new earth, to have the ascension, and we are all going to have an important role in creating the new earth, the one that's full of peace and love and joy and abundance for all, and wonderful creativity that's coming out from everybody. So you may have some activations happening. Just stay with it and thank God for all of it. It's all very important to the bigger process right now. As we go through it ourselves, we're going through a birthing in the big picture, and each one of us is a birth mother right now. So I want you to remember that. All right, I will leave you for another week with lots of love and joy, and just finding what the next step is for you. Thank you.